everybody! Happy Halloween! Today I have got a book, and it's a bit of a spooky story, but it's really fun too. So let's cuddle up as I read to you The Witch Who Was Afraid of Witches by Alice Lowe. Wendy was the youngest witch in her family. She had the weakest witch power, and she was afraid of witches. Older, bossy, mean witches like her two sisters. Her older sister, Polly, knew everything. She knew where to get the best sassafras wood for broomsticks and the best frog's toes for witch's brew, and she knew the best books for witch's spells too. One day, Polly was going to the sassafras grove. "Take me with you," Wendy begged. Polly said, "You're too young. You don't even have the right kind of wood in your broomstick. You don't know anything and you'll never learn." Wendy's middle sister, Wog, knew how to do everything the best. She flew the fastest of any witch in the valley and cackled the loudest. She cackled, "Heh, heh, 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 I'll get you." And she really got you. And she used her most frightening voice to make her spells work the best. "Teach me how you say spells in that frightening voice," Wendy begged. But Wog said, "Your voice is too weak. You don't even know how to cackle." Wendy didn't even try to learn spells. They wouldn't work because she didn't have a frightening voice. At night, Wendy's sisters had parties. Wendy sat at the top of the stairs listening to the cackles of witch laughter. She wished she could join in. Sometimes Polly saw her and shouted, "Spying again! Off with you! It's past your bedtime!" And Wendy crept into her cold bed, hugging her broomstick. She was afraid of the dark, afraid of witches. Sometimes she tried to make up a spell to put on her sisters, but she needed them to tell her the right words. "At least I have you," Wendy said to her broomstick. "You give me a little witch power." Then, one day before Halloween, Wendy lost her broomstick. Neither of her sisters would give her another. "Serves you right," they said. Wendy felt lost without it. Now she had no witch power at all. On Halloween night, Wendy's sister said, "We're going to the city where there are more people to scare." "Take me with you," Wendy said. "Please." "How can you come with us when you don't have a broomstick?" Polly said. "Can't I ride with you?" asked Wendy. "No, you would make the broomstick too heavy. Stay here and don't let any trick-or-treaters in. They eat our candy and squirt shaving cream on the rug." Wendy wasn't afraid of trick-or-treaters. She was much more afraid of witches. "Turn off the lights, lock the door and put out the fire," Polly said. "It will look like nobody is home." Wendy did as Polly said. She sat in the dark shivering. She wished she had her broomstick for company. Then there was a knock on the door. Rat-tat-tat-tat. "Trick or treat!" shouted a voice. Wendy called, "There's nobody home." "You're home," said the ghost on the doorstep. Well, I'm nobody, Wendy said. Is that what you are for Halloween? Said the ghost. Are you nobody? Yes, Wendy said, but I'm dressed as a witch. Why don't you come trick-or-treating with me? Asked the ghost. I'm Roger, and my best friend Billy went trick-or-treating with his other best friend. Let's follow them and scare them. That sounds good to me, Wendy said, though I'm not very good at scaring people. Mostly, I'm scared of witches. You'll catch on, said Roger. You just need to go, woo, woo, woo. That's how ghosts go, Wendy said. Witches cackle like this. I'll get you. Very good, said Roger. You sound like a real witch. Do I? Wendy said. I never thought I could cackle before, but I can't be a real witch without a broomstick. I lost mine. Well, if that's all you need, we have an old one at home. Come on, said Roger. They walked up the hill to Roger's house. Roger's mother gave Wendy hot chocolate and a candied apple and a broomstick. Roger said, Get on, let's see you ride. I'm not any good at riding broomsticks, Wendy said, afraid to try. I have no witch power. Take the broomstick anyway, he said. Wendy took the broomstick, but she didn't sit on it. This old kitchen broomstick wouldn't give her any witch power. Go on, sit on it, said Roger. It's fun. Okay, said Wendy. After all, Roger didn't expect her to do anything but pretend and have fun. She sat on the broomstick and said, I'll get you. Then she gave a little jump. She took off so fast that she hit the ceiling. That must be a magic broomstick, said Roger. I'll try it again, Wendy said. Again, she took off easily. She zoomed around and around before she landed. I guess I do have a little witch power, she said. I never thought so before, but I still don't know any spells. Then make one up, said Roger. You're magic. That made a really good spell pop into Wendy's head. She said it in a frightening voice. Frogs and lizards, toads and newts, buttons, raincoats, hiking boots. Turn this ghost into a witch. Presto, chango, make a switch. Roger's robes turned black. Great, he said. I wanted to be a witch, but I didn't have any black sheets. They first swooped over the trees and made the leaves fall off. Then they swooped into a party. Where Billy and his other best friend were ducking for apples. Billy and his friends were so scared they ran home crying. Suddenly, the clock struck midnight. Ding dong. I'd better fly you home, Wendy said. I want to come home with you and keep on being a witch, said Roger. You are a real witch, aren't you? Yes, I am a real witch with my own witch power, Wendy said. I just found that out, and you helped. But I have to turn you back into a ghost and take you home. Your mother would miss you. Wendy woke up. It was still dark outside, and her sisters weren't home yet. "It's far too late for them to be out," she said. "They may be older, but they have no sense. I will have to teach them a thing or two." She took her time making up 2 spells. They weren't as fancy as the spells her sister Polly found in books, but Wendy knew they had special power because they were her own. "Snakes and cakes and pumpkin pie. Older sister, you can't fly. Salt and pepper, bouncing ball. Middle sister, you will fall." "Oh dear," said Wendy. "I forgot to say the spells in a really frightening voice. I hope they work." An hour later, her sisters came limping home. Wendy's spells had worked. Wog said, "I feel funny all over, as if I had lost my witch power. Now I know how you feel without a broomstick." "That's over now," Wendy said. "I found a pretty good broomstick." "That's just an old kitchen broomstick," Polly said. "Well, it works for me," Wendy said. "It couldn't possibly," said Polly. Then Wendy got on. She said, I'll get to you," in her own voice. Then she gave a little jump. Wendy zoomed out of the window and back in. She had flown faster than any of her sisters had ever had. "How can it be?" Polly asked. "I thought I knew everything. That broomstick isn't even made of sassafras." Wendy felt sorry for her sisters. "You're probably tired," she said. "Get a good sleep, and tomorrow you'll be able to fly." In bed, Wendy made up 2 spells to take the spells off her sisters. "Older sister, you can fly. All you have to do is try. Middle sister, flying's fun. The spell I made is now undone." The next day, they went to Sassafras Grove and cut 2 sticks for brooms. "This one is the best," Polly said. "Now I'll be able to fly again." And she did. Wog found another stick. She sat on it and said, "Mumble, mumble, tumble, tumble," in a frightening voice. "Now I'll be able to fly again." And she did. Wendy took off too on her old kitchen broomstick. Wendy never told them about her spells. It was enough to know that her older sister thought that she knew everything, but didn't. And that her middle sister thought that she knew how to do everything the best, but didn't. And she never told them that she had found her own special witch power. She didn't have to. They knew she was different, and they treated her differently, just like one of them. Good night. Bye-bye. And happy Halloween!